With Clash of Champions just days away, fans are wondering what's the latest news and rumours surrounding the show. Want to know more as WrestleLamia looks at the latest dirt on the Clash of Champions 2019. Number 1. Expect to see The Fiend in the Braun Strowman vs Seth match, setting up the next feud. Not too long ago, fans learned that WWE was advertising Seth Rollins vs The Fiend Bray Wyatt in a non-title match in Canada, leading to speculation Rollins would retain against Braun Strowman. You might recall that The Fiend has challenged the winner of Sunday's title match for a match at 6th October's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which has more than a few people speculating that The Fiend isn't going to wait until Hell in a Cell. During the most recent episode of the Firefly Funhouse, Wyatt mentioned both Rollins and Strowman, insinuating they were responsible for The Fiend being unleashed. It's very possible that Wyatt will interfere in the match or show up after it, setting up either a triple threat match at Hell in a Cell or just a one-on-one with Seth Rollins. Number 2. The OC will make their presence known, possibly replacing Ziggler and Roode. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are many things, including sore losers, but the former Raw Tag Team Champions have been vocal about how they deserved a rematch following their loss to Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. In fact, this has become the OC's mantra for the last few weeks, which has WrestleLamia thinking the OC, always known for taking matters into their own hands, will take out Roode and Ziggler, replacing them in the title match against Strowman and Rollins. This would also set up a feud between the OC and Ziggler, yes we said Ziggler, which could be a good way to spot the new team as they look for revenge and the Raw Tag Team Championship. Number 3. Erick Rowan will make a big impression on Roman Reigns. The WWE appears to be giving Rowan a good push now, as he's transformed from a mindless follower into one of the WWE's most dangerous rogues. While it's too early to tell how effective Erick Rowan will be without a mouthpiece, his ability to brawl has been well established, whether it was his time in the Wyatt family, the Bludgeon Brothers, or alongside Daniel Bryan. Just because two wrestlers are good at brawling doesn't guarantee a good match, but Rowan and Reigns' past melees on SmackDown suggest their encounter this Sunday will be one to remember. Look for Reigns to put Rowan over as the big man defeats the big dog thanks to the extra carnage he's capable of inflicting in a no disqualification match. Number 4. Braun Strowman will turn heel on Seth Rollins. Braun Strowman seems so determined to do whatever he needs to do to win the Universal Championship that some fans think he won't turn heel, just because it's such a predictable move. While that's a good point, we think that the prospect of Braun Strowman as a monster heel is just too good to waste. First, the WWE needs to take the Raw Tag Team titles off Rollins and Strowman, as their reign has only been used to build tension between the two at Clash of Champions. While we can think of a better use for the tag belts, Rollins and Strowman haven't had them that long that it's hurting the WWE's already shaky tag team roster. Look for Strowman to do something heelish during their tag team match that hints an ulterior motive, and for Strowman to go full-blown heel during the Universal Championship match. Number 5. Daniel Bryan will be out for revenge. While many fans expect Daniel Bryan to be behind the attacks on Roman Reigns, as Rowan has both claimed responsibility and beating the stuffing out of his former boss. The possibility of a swerve shouldn't be ruled out, although we're hoping it doesn't happen because we love Rowan's new direction. But whatever happens, expect to see Daniel Bryan show up to get some retribution on Rowan. This could inadvertently give Reigns the match, but whatever happens, Daniel Bryan isn't going to go quietly into the night after his former henchman embarrassed him on live television. Number 6. Don't be surprised to see a King of the Ring replacement or addition to the finals. The WWE surprised its fans when it announced the King of the Ring finals would be held on Monday Night Raw rather than on Clash of Champions as originally planned. They also surprised many fans by putting Chad Gable into the finals against Baron Corbin. Gable's unlikely appearance in the finals is definitely a surprise, but it's a Cinderella story few fans expected, and frankly, it's one few fans seem to be interested in. With that in mind, don't be surprised to see another contestant put in the finals, particularly after Shane McMahon was unable to weasel his way into the finals. If this happens and it involves some heel chicanery such as Shane selecting another opponent, the King of the Ring might even see Baron Corbin turn babyface. If it doesn't happen, expect to see fans wondering how the WWE managed to screw up one of the best King of the Ring tournaments on paper. Number 7. Expect one surprise return. The WWE has had its usual rash of injuries, something we discussed in a recent news video. While some superstars such as Ruby Riott are expected to be out well into 2020, a few top stars are slated to return soon, including Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. Both individuals could make a big splash at Clash of Champions, but given the WWE's poor ratings on Raw last week, a return on Monday night makes more sense. Either way, the WWE will be certain to take advantage of the return of any star it can, whether it's on NXT, SmackDown or Raw, hopefully maximising their impact. Number 8. Expect the Boss and Hug connection to win big. Although Bayley and Sasha Banks are competing on two separate brands, look for the two close friends to make big statements on their respective brands. The Boss is back and she seems determined to take the spotlight away from Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Likewise, Bayley has been vocal about doing whatever it takes to make the SmackDown Women's roster stand out, more or less explaining her heelish tactics as a means of doing so. What's interesting is that Becky Lynch, a Raw superstar who was featured in a SmackDown commercial in preparation for its move to Fox, was seen interestingly without her belt. Also during the Philadelphia Eagles vs Washington Redskins game, an advertisement popped up and a graphic of Becky Lynch was shown, again interestingly without her title. Number 1, why didn't they use the actual women's champion for that brand, Bayley? Number 2, is she making a big move to SmackDown? And number 3, how could WWE just forget to put the title on her? So it seems that the Boss could make a big impression at Clash of Champions. But speaking of the Boss, Banks recently chatted with WFNZ Sports Radio about her absence from the WWE following the Boss and Hugs title loss to the Iconics at WrestleMania 35, as she explained, "I've been doing this for 7 years straight, no break. People need to step back and reevaluate their lives and take care of their souls and minds, and I'm back. And I'm better than ever, and I got myself a championship match on Sunday, so I think I did quite well for myself, right?" Number 9. More tweaks to NXT and the final fate of 205 Live. Clash of Champions could be the last time fans see the Cruiserweight Championship being defended on pay-per-view, while it's an integral part of 205 Live. In a recent interview with Newsweek, Triple H discussed the future of NXT as well as 205 Live. "I think you'll see that Raw will become very much distinctly its own brand as well as SmackDown on Fox, and NXT will be its own. The ability as time moves on for people to move from Raw to SmackDown and NXT to Raw or SmackDown, but also Raw SmackDown to NXT. NXT UK will sit under that NXT banner as well, probably 205 too, breathing some life into it a little bit. That creates 3 distinct brands that talent over the course of their career, which hopefully is long, where they can migrate from one to another and be reinvigorated and have fresh starts and have longer, more meaningful and lucrative careers while staying within the same company." While there's no definite word on 205 Live's fate, Triple H hinted at it during the interview, stating, "You'll start to see 205 begin to sit under the NXT umbrella. I think it always existed as an island unto itself, a little bit, and it's become lost in this limbo. You'll begin to see it move more towards the NXT banner and the talent there. We have a lot of talent. For them to begin to compete either open against anyone or in the Cruiserweight division, but have that title sit under the NXT brand is more meaningful. It creates more opportunities for more people. As for Raw and SmackDown, it's opened a division for them. When you're on both shows, everybody is competing against everybody. There's also rumour going around that WWE is going to air its NXT TakeOver events, which traditionally have aired the night before WWE pay-per-views, to run against AEW pay-per-views. The WWE's recent announcement that there would be no NXT TakeOver show the night before the Royal Rumble had NXT fans concerned about the highly regarded show's future, especially with the WWE airing Worlds Collide in its place. However, WWE stated NXT TakeOver would continue and that an announcement concerning their scheduling would be made shortly. How AEW responds to the WWE potentially running opposition to their shows should prove interesting, as well as the fans' reaction to this counter-programming. And number 10, expect an uneven show. While the WWE has put on 2 solid pay-per-views this summer, Extreme Rules and SummerSlam in case you're just joining us, the WWE's ratings problems could lead to Vince McMahon micromanaging Clash of Champions. It's no secret that Vince McMahon is constantly rewriting WWE shows, so it's possible fans could see some off-the-wall booking. Nevertheless, some of that old McMahon magic could lead to some wonky finishes, spoiling what could have been the third strong pay-per-view in a row. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope Vince gets stuck in traffic or otherwise detained from running the show. Well, there you have it, guys. Your news and rumours for the Clash of Champions pay-per-view this Sunday. Are you guys planning on watching the show? Let us know in the comments down below. Be on the lookout for WrestleLamia's predictions for the pay-per-view, as well as our recap and analysis of the event after the show. Subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.